Okay, we're rolling.
It's very difficult to go back to that specific time, but it was very significant also that Liz and I were with Mom at the Southridge Living Center on the morning of September 11th, 2001. September 11th,
Can we go back, though, to the build-up to that date? Can we go back from how the family found this tranquility, and was it because Grandma was here, or was it because Aunt Mary was here, or both, or this was where you created the attraction so that the family came?
No, if it wasn't, they would have never found us if it wasn't for Louise.
That's right.
And
Well, yeah. What I can say is because Mom came here to live in 1985. This is just when the house had been built. This had been rebuilt as a winter house. It was the rebuilding of the house, which Ken was the major.
Was the contractor? Kenny was the contractor?
Not the contractor. My neighbor and I designed it along, particularly with. I kept sending out plans for the design, and the final plan I had gotten, I did 14 of them with John Standish, the neighbor, and the final plan had a beautiful cathedral ceiling in the living room. And so I sent that out, and Jean said to me, "Are you sure you want to lose that second bedroom upstairs?" And so I said no. And so we have 2 bedrooms upstairs, but no cathedral even downstairs. And then I ran out of money to build the wood stove that I had planned just behind the kitchen, but we still had the pipe going up to do, so we'd have a wood stove. It wasn't a pipe, it was the frame and an opening to carry it up. So that got canceled because it wasn't under my budget for the doing. So that was one of the best things that happened, because even though it meant I had to kind of close off the space that had been left for the stove, by the time I got around to doing something about it, I could put in a gas stove over in the wall where it looks as though it should have been on forever. So that was a delightful thing not to have to do. But it meant that for as long as Mary and Mom were here, which was from 85 until 94, that this was the gathering place for the family. You know, that Frank and his family and the Massachusetts people would always come during the Christmas season for Mom's birthday on the 27th, and others would come and gravitate and visit and spend time, particularly to see Mom and Mary, and so it just was kind of like a family gathering spot for those years. And indeed, after Mom went to the nursing home in '94, there was still time to come, and Jean's family from Miami had become so attached to the place that they had come every summer for a month, so that they spent each July here. And from the time the girls were small, and they stayed here with some even friends from Frank's kids came and stayed with them in the early days. So it's always been for me a place. I always feel of it as a place in which the family are always welcome whenever or wherever. So of course, when Mom, one of the blessings, of the great blessings that I think everyone should know, is that after Mary's death at 103, Mom's condition deteriorated, and I began to understand that I really couldn't manage it alone anymore. And so that was when I arranged for her to go to the nursing home. And one of the things that broke my heart was that it meant that I could do for Mary, my aunt, who died in my living room. I couldn't do for my mother what I did for Mary. So that was always a sore spot with me. As it turned out, Mom took a bad spell. Had been up sitting in a chair, took a bad spell on a Saturday, and it was not until Monday morning that she breathed her last. So I was with her that whole weekend, and it was such a blessing, you know, because I was absolutely more present to my mom than I was to Mary, and that just comforted me a great deal. And the problem was that after she died shortly after 8, and so Liz and I came back here to call undertaker, the funeral director in Waltham, and he said, "You got the television on?" And I said, "Of course I don't have the television on." And so he said, "Put it on." So I put it on, and that was between the first and second plane into the towers. So of course that meant that it was going to be impossible because of all of the shutdowns of the airports immediately following that the people from California, from Florida, Liz was already up here, from Florida and Missouri weren't able to get here for the funeral. So we had a lovely funeral at St. Mary's, which I don't remember much about at all, interestingly enough. But
in-law family.
Yeah, at St. Mary's Church in Waltham. And then during the following year, the word began to come. I think it was from a couple of nieces that we should that we needed to have the family to get together in order to have a proper memorial for all the families from them. And the ones I remember most clearly were Allison and Sarah that took this on as if it was a major project of their life, and they began to make plans. And really, what was quite extraordinary, the way in which everyone responded. I mean, to think that people came from all these across the country and arranged to stay here for a week, all at the same time, and furthermore, that here he had 66 people here, including Bernie and Jack, who were all on their best behavior. Nobody could have been on better behavior than this melange of people and kids. It was quite extraordinary. And as each people, wherever they were, would arrange to have the dinner for that night in their own little place and serve everyone else. And Ken set up the outside deck as breakfast from when? 9 to 11,
yeah.
Ken? So there was open breakfast at the deck, and it certainly was well taken care of, and everyone, I think, enjoyed their
Oh, it was wonderful.
their breakfast with Ken. And we had our little ceremony out on the wall, what was interesting is that I knew I wanted to have a plaque of some kind, but I couldn't exactly think of what it was. I sort of thought abiding love, to have their dates, Mom and Dad's dates, but I finally thought about the abiding love, but I said it sort of needs something different. And even as I'm driving to the engraver to get this thing made on the highway, I think I remember the spot, said, I know, you take the foot of the A and bring it down in the circle and bring it up to the E in the other end, so that you have this circle from abiding up to the end, love as embracing everything, which is, I think, what their love did. And I think that the times that we spent together certainly were an unforgettable family experience for me, and I think that it's probably, I hope it is for many others too. I suppose you're going to watch me look away.